most of our investors choose to reinvest their monthly distributions, but we do have a fair amount of investors that choose to take the cash flow, take the monthly cash flow for multiple reasons. So we're going to talk about that today on our daily parallel brief. We put out daily investing financial topics that we see on a day-to-day basis. This is not a financial advice or investment advice by any means. This is just us talking about what we see from a day-to-day basis from our investors, finances, our deals, as it relates to our hard money lending fund that we run here in Texas. So we have a group of investors that invest in our fund, and we use those funds to lend out to clients that need those funds to get projects done, single-family homes, majority done in Texas or DFW areas. And so the investors have two options they can choose from. They can either choose to let their investments compound over time, so they get paid X amount each month, and they just dump it right back into the fund, so it just compounds, it reinvests over time without them taking those distributions. The other option is for investors to take the monthly cash flow. And so while most investors let their investment compound, we have a fair amount of investors that choose to take the monthly distributions for several different reasons. Every investor is in a different season of life, has different needs, has different kind of goals, what they want with their investment. And some investors' goals when it comes to investing in a fund or a model like this is because they want some passive cash flow. They don't care about it building up. They're already using a pile of capital to pay them each month, and they could be paid to help cover a mortgage. We have investors that just use an investment and that goes straight to covering the mortgage or pays for a kid's private school or helps pay for some tuition or some fee, whatever it may be, or just daily cost of living. They use that depending on their season of life. We have some investors on the pushing retirement or semi-retired, and that investment uses that capital, that cash flow helps just day-to-day living, right? So even though the majority of our investors choose to let it compound, there are still a fair amount of investors that invest in this model because they're attracted to receiving that cash every month and do whatever they want to do with it. Maybe they want to pay for their trip, whatever they want to do. I've done both. I let it compound currently, but I've done both. We have investors who some months let it compound, some months they pull. As long as they give us a heads up, enough notice, we're able to make that happen. So again, we have multiple different ways for investors to invest, whether they want to take the distributions or whether they want to compound, and depending on their situation or their goals will depend on what they decide to do. Again, this is just a big parallel daily brief. We talk all things investments and finances as it relates to what we see on a day-to-day basis running this hard money lending fund. If you have any other topics, investment or financial real estate topics you want covered, we may have already hit on it if you go back and watch some old videos. But if not, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. It does help us grow. Reach out if you have any questions about anything. We'll see you next time. Peace.